Well, hey there, all you beautiful Texans. Welcome back to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Yay, let's go. Except I absolutely hate the cold weather. Oh, I'm one of the biggest babies in the world when it comes to cold weather. I am from here. This is as cold as I've ever experienced in my life. And this crap where snow falls out of the sky, ice, solid water falls out of the sky and sticks to the ground. That's something that's for the TV. That's not for me. That's not for me. So I need to know when this winter weather is going to leave some snow on the ground, if it's going to leave some snow on the ground, when it is, when it's going to be gone. And for help with that, Sarah Barnes is on from the National Weather Service over in Fort Worth. Welcome back, Sarah. I hadn't had to talk to you in a while, but is it going to snow?
Yeah, it's been a while. Yeah, so the answer, put it simply, yes. Our confidence continues to increase that we will see impactful winter weather later this week, which is going to result in hazardous travel conditions both Thursday and Friday. The main round of snow is expected to begin late Wednesday night and will increase in coverage and intensity throughout the day Thursday. Heavy snow is going to be possible at times. And then all snow will eventually come to an end Friday morning, but we will continue to see impacts until temperatures climb comfortably above freezing later in the day. Right now we're expecting widespread rainfall totals between 2 and 5 inches. Isolated areas will see higher totals, and somewhere in North Texas could even see upwards of 8 inches, but it's not exactly possible to pinpoint exactly who's going to see these higher rainfall or snowfall totals at this time. So these details are going to continue to change over the next few days. So the best thing that everybody can do is to continue to monitor the forecast and consider altering any late week travel plans.
Well, I have a hard time believing here, Sarah Barnes, because when I left work on Friday, I was under the impression it may get here on next Friday. That timetable has been moved up to Wednesday. What changed?
Yeah, it's just the way that our models work. Sometimes they're a bit slower with the system. We were considering a lot of different models at the end of last week, and so they've all finally came into agreement that it's going to be more mid to late week. Is
it going to stick?
We are expecting snow accumulations. Thankfully, we're not expecting much in the way of ice accumulations. So this should mostly be snow for North Texas. So we are expecting it to stick, though, with those 2 to 5 inches of snow possible for a good part of North Texas.
How concerned should we be about bridges icing over?
Bridges icing over, I wouldn't say that's as much of a concern unless we see any partial melting, especially as people drive on the roadways. That could definitely refreeze Thursday night into Friday morning. So it's going to be hazardous out there on the roads, at least into Friday.
Yeah, because I know that's when things get wild here in the WBAP newsroom. If bridges freeze over, people start playing bumper cars, and that's kind of like my boundary on when things get out of hand.
Right, yeah, those bridges definitely become dangerous once they start freezing over, but hopefully the snow will help at least a little bit with traction, but once people start getting out and driving, that could, of course, cause some melting and refreezing.
Are we in the territory where you're supposed to be wrapping your pipes outside your house?
Definitely. We hope that you already did that, considering it's already pretty dang cold outside. But, yeah, you definitely want to keep those pipes wrapped for the next few days because it's going to be chilly every night with temperatures in the 20s.
Well, don't make assumptions, Sarah. Some of us aren't on top of things like that.
Well, I hope so, because it's definitely winter, and if you've lived here in North Texas, you know it gets cold occasionally. So.
Okay, so when does the cold weather get out of here?
At least for the next few days, it looks like it's going to stick around. We have highs in the 30s each day, and then maybe we'll finally get into the 40s this weekend, but it'll still be cold.
Well, my phone tells me we have a 95% chance of snow on Thursday, but you said it's going to hit us Wednesday.
It looks like Wednesday night is when it should begin, and then most of it is going to be falling on Thursday, and eventually ending from west to east Friday morning.
All right, Sarah Barnes, National Weather Service, thank you very much. Appreciate your time.
Thanks for having me.
See, talk to a real-life meteorologist, get some of that out the way. And I'm going to apologize in advance if I, whine about cold weather, because I am a big baby about it, but at least I'm a self-aware big baby about it. I just don't like being cold. I don't understand you people that... There's always one jerk, when you're outside and it's freezing and it's windy, some guy walks by in shorts and a t-shirt. Don't be that guy. That guy really makes me mad. I know you're not really comfortable. I know you're almost showing off. It's almost like not a virtue signal, but sort of a, insulation or cold tolerance virtue signal of some sort. Don't be that guy. But it's going to be the first big freeze of the year for DFW. You have any secrets, any tips for dealing with the freezing weather? I'd love to hear all that. And look, let me go and throw this out here. I don't believe in the wind chill. I know it's a thing technically, like they say it on the news, and it's like, well, James, if it's this temperature, but the wind's blowing this hard, then it feels like this other temperature. Well, no, it's still that temperature with the wind. It's sort of the inverse of the heat index. Like, James, if it's going to be 99 degrees, but it's this humid, then it's going to feel like it's 104. Okay, yeah, but I'm going to come back here 10 years from now, and it'll be 99 degrees, and it'll feel the exact same. And the last time it was 99 degrees, this is what it felt like. So, no, it just feels like 99 degrees. But no, James, it's not the same. No, it's just a way for the news media to show you the most extreme number possible. Because that doesn't get your attention if it's 99. It'll get your attention if it's 104. And it doesn't get your attention as much if, it's 33 degrees right now, but the wind chill's 24. And so I really think that's part of because the word feels like probably shouldn't be anywhere near something that's supposed to be scientific. You're a meteorologist, not a weather commentary opinion columnist. You're a scientist. There's no feels. Like, there's no feelings in science. Oh, it feels hotter. No, that's what 99 feels like. We've been here our entire lives. That's always what it feels like. So, all right. Any comments on the cold weather? 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. Coming up next, some quick updates on the attacks in New Orleans and Las Vegas. Is there a connection? Do we have a better bead on the motive of the Vegas guy? You'll find out in about 4 minutes. 800-288-9227. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Well, hey there, all you beautiful Texans. Welcome back to the James Show. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Yeah, no, good to see you too. All right, so the number one news that you see on TV is not necessarily the same as the number one news story here in the Dallas area. Nationally, you turn it on, I'm seeing a lot of Trump's agenda. I'm seeing Kamala Harris certifying some votes. I'm seeing some movement on the investigations that happened with the terror attacks, both in New Orleans and Las Vegas. But around here, it's such a rare occurrence that anytime it happens, it's got to be news. We may actually get snow in DFW. Daniel Huckabee's on with us from the National Weather Service. Thanks for being on the James Show. When are we expecting possible snow to start falling, Daniel?
It looks like for the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, it's going to be Wednesday night into Thursday that we initially see that snowfall. And thankfully for the Metroplex, it doesn't look like we'll see much of in the way of sleet or freezing rain. So mostly a snow event, which makes for a bit easier driving conditions. But if we have 3 to 5 inches over the course of the day, Thursday into Thursday night, it's going to get pretty treacherous out there.
So is it going to stick?
Absolutely. We're already cold, as you know, and
right.
The clouds will be coming in tonight, and we're not going to warm up much. In fact, as soon as that snow starts falling, we'll stay at or below freezing, and that snow is going to really effectively accumulate.
Okay, so snow's not the scary one. It's the sleet that really ruins the bridges. And, when I say I slid on a bridge once, and that's really my only bad driving experience in the cold weather. Are the bridges going to freeze?
Well, the road surfaces are already quite cold. We were down in the 20s this morning, and we'll stay in the 20s and 30s over the next few days. So those surfaces are going to start out pretty cold. A lot of times when we have wintry weather, it comes after a period of pretty warm weather. But this will be the kind of situation where those, particularly the bridges and overpasses, they're going to start accumulating snow pretty quick. And we may have a mess as early as the Thursday morning commute. Okay,
so if it does stick, how long until it goes away?
Well, the event, the snow falling will taper off late Thursday night, maybe into early Friday morning. But when you have that much snow on the ground, it's hard for the temperatures to warm up, and it looks like the sun's not going to come out on Friday. So unfortunately, the treacherous driving conditions will continue on Friday, and that snow may stick around into the upcoming weekend.
Do you already have a sense of what's happening next week? Could we possibly get hit with another one fairly soon?
You know, there's another storm system on the horizon there. We're trying to focus on this one right away, but unfortunately, it looks like we're starting out with a pretty cold and wintry January.
I'm not a big fan of the wind chill. Not that I don't acknowledge that wind makes cold weather even worse. I just feel like the term feels like shouldn't it be in something as scientific as meteorology?
Well, the wind chill is actually a pretty scientific thing. Essentially what happens is when you're out in the cold, your skin warms a little layer of air adjacent to it that protects you. But when the wind blows, it blows that away. And so when it's windy like it's been the last couple of days, it makes it feel much colder because you lose that protective barrier. So what we try to do is estimate what that feels like based on how strong the wind is, how effective that is in removing that warm air away from your body. But it definitely has an effect on how it feels with the wind blowing.
Well, Daniel, I think you would have a great case to make if we were all running around in the nude, but I have clothes on. I keep that little layer of air around me for the most part. No, I understand what you're saying there.
You can feel it on your face, though, for sure. Oh,
that very true, very true. So now that 2024 is in the history books and you've had sort of a week to digest it, do y'all check on that? As a guy who is steeped in weather for a living, was that an above average year for like rain or heat or cold? Like, what's your thoughts on 2024?
Well, the main thing for 2024 is that it tied for our warmest year on record, which is easier to do here in Dallas-Fort Worth with the heat island. We tend to stay warmer at night, which makes it easier to break some of those records from long ago. But we ended up tying 2017 as being the warmest year on record. And it wasn't a really hot summer. People may not remember it as being really warm, but we had a warm spring. We had a warm fall, warmest October on record, only one freeze at DFW during December. So overall, it was a pretty warm year.
Yeah, I like the sound of that. Were we above average or below average on rain?
For rainfall, we were above average. I forget the exact total offhand, but
it wasn't so much that you remembered it. It was about average, I imagine.
Yeah, it was pretty close to where we would be.
Well, what do you think is going to happen this winter? You think we're going to have a below average or above average winter?
Well, for the next couple of weeks, it certainly looks below average, but overall, it looks like we'll be a little bit warmer and a little bit drier than normal. But the thing about winter here in North Texas is it's highly variable, and we've never had a winter in going back to the 1800s without any snowfall, even if it's just a little bit. So we do get those Arctic outbreaks, even if it's a warm winter overall.
All right, Daniel Huckabee, National Weather Service. Thanks for keeping us updated on the weather.
All right. Have a good day.
Thank you very much. There he is, Daniel Huckabee, National Weather Service. Had him calling all the way from, Fort Worth? I know. They got a big one there. All right, 800-288-9227 if you have any cold weather tips for the rest of us. Because I just don't bother with any of the cold weather stuff. I don't do snow tires. I don't winterize my car. I'm not even sure what that means. I just tough it out and put on an extra pair of socks. 800-288-9227 if you got any comments on the weather situation. Coming up next, though, federal courts are not going to refer Clarence Thomas, the Supreme Court justice, to the Attorney General over ethics concerns. Now, I think this is potentially could be a huge story because what this is really all about is Congress is trying to find an end around to gain power over the Supreme Court. I'll explain that in 4 minutes on The James Show. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome to The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. I'm not going to name any names here because I already got enough enemies in this town. But there's a horrible story that happened on Christmas Eve here locally. A woman, one of our neighbors over in Haltom City, so I'm not like stretching, this has happened in suburbs of Seattle. No, this happened in her backyard. She was kidnapped at gunpoint on Christmas Eve. She was in the parking lot of an apartment complex. I guess it was her apartment complex. They don't tell you. But some guy shows up. I guess she was going to go to work like super early. A lot of people do. But he sees her in the parking lot, comes up to her with a gun. He says, come on, we're going to go for a ride. And so He's talking to her with his face covered. He pointed a gun at her head, said, give me your bag, give me your phone. Now let's go to your bank and let's withdraw all your money. And he's sitting there threatening her the whole time. And he's saying horrible things to her. He's saying he's going to rape her. He's saying he's going to human traffic her. He says he's planning on selling her organs. So I don't know what this guy's problem is. I'm trying to horrify this woman as much as possible. I got it. And then when she went to the ATM, got out a bunch of money, gave it to him. He said, get out the car, and he takes off. The next day, on Christmas Day, they find this guy. He's in Oklahoma City. He's in the woman's car that he stole the day before, and cops arrest him. He's a 35-year-old illegal immigrant from Honduras. In the headline of the story, this is what the headline says. Woman allegedly kidnapped at gunpoint, tied to tree on Christmas Eve, shares story. No mention that it's an illegal immigrant. No mention that it's an immigrant. No mention of the race of the guy involved. And again, if these were circumstances that fit the narrative a little better, you'd know it would be in there. But here we are. These dishonest hacks. If you're listening and you're the one who wrote that article, wrote that headline, I'm talking about you. Stop it. It's embarrassing. It's dishonest. It's a little bit racist. I mean, it's a more benevolent form of racism. Like you Democrats have got better. At least y'all stopped with the Klan and lynching people. This form of racism, again, I mean, I think you think you're doing the right thing, but it's really ugly and it's really disgusting. And it's really divisive, and you should know better by now. But you know that when George Floyd, that story happened, it was constantly beat into the public consciousness that it was a white cop that caused the death of a black guy. Same thing with Michael Brown. It was constantly in there. A white guy caused the death of a black guy. Trayvon Martin, a white guy caused the death of a black guy. But no, demographics don't matter if it doesn't fit the narrative. Demographics only matter if it makes America look bad, white people look bad, perceived Republicans to look bad, natives to look bad. And here, it's not anywhere in there. In fact, they don't even mention the fact that he's an illegal immigrant, except for way down in like paragraph 28. The wording on this is just painfully gymnastic. Police say the suspect was in the country illegally from Honduras and has been referred to immigration officials. That's as close as they get to calling him an illegal immigrant or an immigrant of any kind. That's wild, isn't it? Immigration, one of the biggest hot button issues on the planet right now. We could have ourselves another Laken Riley. Nope, they don't want another one of those. They can't have another one of those. They just got to report this, make sure it doesn't get picked up by any media outlets, make sure some big right-wing blogger or dark web, intellectual dark webber doesn't see this, and it just blows over the next day, and they can go get along with making you hate white people and Republicans and people with MAGA hats. The reporting on this is so disgusting, though. People, stop. Can y'all not be such dishonest hacks? And the reason they do this is so when you're scanning the news, you don't go, wow, another crime by an illegal immigrant. Oh, my goodness, another dangerous event happened at the hands of an illegal immigrant. And then you read the next story. Tom Homan, incoming border czar, has doubled down on his plans to deport families of mixed immigration status. If you were getting the real news for the 4 or 5 stories you read before that, you may think, oh, well, that sounds like a good idea. But if they soft pedal it, you have no idea the immigration status of all these horrible crimes that have been going on. And just the 5 stories you read before this one, you might be like, oh, that sounds mean. I don't know. I like to keep families together. We need to stop picking on illegal immigrants so much. We're not picking on them. So stop coddling them. Start treating them like you either use it in everybody's story or don't use it at all. Because I don't remember Derek Chauvin, the guy in the cop in the George Floyd case. He never used an ethnic slur. There's no evidence that race was any factor or played any part in his decision making that day. But race was just inferred onto there because all you had was the mix. So if you infer racism where there's no evidence for it simply because it's mixed race, but you only do it when the interracial crime goes one direction, well, now you're not even concerned about racism. Now you're just an anti-white bigot. Again, it's the benevolent form of racism. And it's kind of my answer to the big switch. When people say, there was a big switch in the Democrat Party and the Republican Party. Yeah, the Republicans are the racist ones now. I know it was the Democrats that did, slavery and the Trail of Tears and Jim Crow and segregation. And they were against women's suffrage and internment camps in World War II and putting a Klansman on in the Supreme Court. And hell, having Robert Byrd in the Senate as the Democrat until the day he died in 2009 or whenever that was. No, but at some point they switched. No, they didn't. Democrats never stopped being racist. It's just a more evolved, less violent form. Still pernicious, still ugly, but it's not like Republicans looked at Democrats. Oh, y'all aren't racist anymore. Let's pick up that mantle and run with it. No, here it is. Here it is. You can see it. It leaks out. It oozes through. Even the bad reporting that comes from some of our local media outlets. Too bad this isn't going to be a national story. You know it deserves to be. 800-288-9227. 800-288-9227. They will even cover for criminals on Christmas. They'll cover for them if it fits the narrative. Pretty sick stuff. Coming up next, we're going to talk to a guy I'm a fan of, Jerry J-Man Joyner. He's the host of Weed and Whiskey. And a new survey shows that many in Gen Z, the Zoomers, are alcohol-free. This seems to be the generation that is drinking the least. What's up with that? You'll hear from Jerry J-Man Joyner next on The James Show. I'm James Parker. It's News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Hey there, welcome to The James Show. News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3. Couple of strange, kind of sad stories here in Dallas. I got these both from DallasExpress.com. Although I found the story here about the jewelry heist. I saw that on TV first. I got to give him credit. I just found a little more details here from DallasExpress.com. Over in East Dallas, a $600,000 jewelry heist happened at a family business. And your original reaction to this may be, oh, well, that's terrible. Well, at least they probably have insurance and they'll get to recoup some of that money. No. They told NBC5 here in DFW that they do not have insurance and they have a total loss on all the jewelry that was stolen. Whoa. So this is a family business. This business was started by the mom years ago on a $3,000 loan. And they say after decades of her putting in around 80 hours a week, she has this empire that she's passing along, and now her kids are in the business. And according to our news partner, WFAA, they also confirmed that they're uninsured. So now the family just takes a total loss on that. And I see those robberies that happen. These guys come in, they smash the glass, they grab the jewelry, they run out of there. And secretly, I hope in all of them, someone pulls out a gun and just gets a couple of those bastards. Because there was I think 3 guys were in the video that I saw. It also stinks because it looks a little premeditated. They knew exactly which cases to go through, smash, grab. They didn't go for the safe. They didn't go for the cash register. They didn't ask for any cash. They didn't try and get anything else. They went for a couple of specific cases, cleaned them out, got the hell out of there. Total loss, though. Man, that's heartbreaking stuff. She says she cried the rest of the day. She went home, cried herself to sleep, and then she cried all the next day. This was their family business. You know what a family business is? I mean, a family business is like you're a farmer. You've gone out, you've planted all these crops, you've watered them, you fertilized them, you scared off all the crows, you babied them, you got them through the freezes, you did everything you could, and then someone just comes and burns it down. And this is a family that's ruined. Can your family absorb a loss of $600,000? Yeah, mine can't either. The other strange story, I saw this one. 579 animals killed at a fire at a Northwest Dallas shopping center. Well, what happened? Did a Petco catch on fire? PetSmart? How does 579? Did a chicken plant catch on fire? I don't have a whole lot better info on this one. Last Friday, 11 a.m., Plaza Latina. It's up on Harry Hines Boulevard. Dallas Fire Rescue dispatched 40 to 45 firefighters. When you look at the building, it's a big building. And so I'm trying to figure out, well, what all got killed here? What's going on? How do they have this many animals in a bazaar that's a retail shop, basically? 579 animal fatalities. Let's break it down, though. Number one, only 2 cats died, which is too many, but I'm a cat person, so if we can minimize the damage to cats, I appreciate that. Dog people, you'll be happy to hear only 2 dogs died in this one. So now we are getting into what's going on here. 579. We're only up to 4 animals. They say there was some hamsters, some chickens, but most were small birds. Oh, okay. So what would they have, like a giant aviary that was full of parakeets or something? Because this is the second time in like 2 weeks I've had to come up with parakeet punchlines for this show. But there was a cockfighting ring that was busted outside of Kaufman, and I was joking because the law says you're not allowed to fight chicken or other birds, and so that put a squash on me and Garrett. We had a parakeet fighting ring we had to shut down. So I'd been joking about that just like right before Christmas, and then here we are. What is it, 500 something parakeets must have died? They say there's no exotic animals found on the site at the time of recovery. So what counts as an exotic animal? Does it have to be like a panda bear or a koala or a duck-billed platypus? Y'all got a kangaroo in there? Or do parakeets? It's probably little chirping birds, right? Little finch or whatever. I don't know. What do you bird people collect? I don't really have a whole lot of bird jokes. I used them all on the parakeet fighting ring that me and Garrett had to shoot down. But that's bizarre. That makes me want to go to this business. What are y'all selling? 579 what died? Because you wouldn't be... Look, I know we all love dogs. We all love cats. Some of you even love parakeets, and you're getting a little abrased by how lightly I'm considering the precious souls of our little yellow bird friends. But what if it was snakes? Yeah, I don't understand you people that like snakes as a pet. Oh, look, isn't this a cool pet? No, it scares the hell out of me. I see a snake, I want to hit it with a rock. I want to beat it. Maybe eat it. If it's one of them big fat ones, I've eaten some good snake. But some of you people with your exotic pets, with your lizards, with your snakes, with your tarantulas, I know what you're doing. You're just doing that to be weird. You're just doing that because you like when people go, ooh, how would you do that? You're like, yeah, that's right. I'm not cool. I'm not normal. I'm exotic. I'm mysterious. I'm cool. No, you're not. You have a worthless pet. Probably hates you and wants you dead. But 2 families lost their business last week. Super sad stories when you find out even more details on it. I'm sorry about that, guys. I love small businesses. I hate to hear about any of you guys losing it. All right, that's going to do it for the James Show today. If you need more James Show action, check out the podcast wherever you're already listening to podcasts. I prefer you go to WBAP.com or the WBAP app. Oh, no. Look. I'm sorry. I just scrolled to the bottom of my notes. I forgot about one more thing from the fire at the exotic pet thing. According to the report on CBS, I only read this on CBS, they said there was a witness that Dallas firefighters were seen performing CPR on a tortoise. I am not making that up. I know you think I'm saying that. Oh, the guy on the radio is making stuff up to try and be funny. That was really reported by CBS. Did it work? Can you give a tortoise CPR? How do you do chest compressions? You got to flip him over on his back? Can you just spin him like the Wheel of Fortune and just, pop him? So stupid. All right. I have to go look up CPR on a tortoise now. I'll report on tomorrow's James Show. Thank you very much for hanging out with me. Mark Levin's up next. I'm James Parker. This is News Talk 820 WBAP, now on FM at 93.3.